Hey folks, we are in the More Than Cars podcast booth at ASOTUCON. I believe Nathan Southwick told me do a podcast takeover at ASOTUCON for me. Yes, please. So I wanted to have two folks. You're going to get to see this amazing gentleman here, Sean Hartman from Toma. And shortly, we're going to have another individual on here that we're going to discuss ASOTUCON, sales, what they do, what's going on, operations, and a bit more. And we're going to do it in as short as humanly possible. So let's get into it. Sean, thank you very much for giving me another 15 minutes of your time. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
So very quickly, Toma is an AI product.
Correct.
There is a lot of talk about AI here at ASOTUCON.
No,
not at all. Innovation, AI.
That's the first time I've heard it.
No, it was almost I think, who was it that suggested it might almost be a drinking game that you probably don't want to play?
Yes, it is. So, it is one of those.
One of the challenges with AI, especially even at this event where there's a lot of folks talking about it, telling stories about it, there's still a lot of challenges that I think leaders, whether it's a vendor looking for an AI product for themselves or it's a dealer looking for an AI product for themselves, there's a lot of stigma around, is it going to work? I don't really need it. I'm not really there.
Sure. What is it?
What is it?
Right.
What is it you do? So because Toma is already pretty awesome, I got a chance to do the demo clone voice, which I'm not sure when it's going to be available to the public so you can do it yourself, but I got to clone my voice in AI and then talk with it. Like
it's a surreal moment.
Oh, it's a surreal moment because I watch a lot of game tape of myself, but it was surreal to be able to actually have a conversation with myself.
Right.
So to that point, let's talk a little bit about what Toma does, and then let's go a little bit deeper. What are the challenges that dealers are facing with it from your standpoint? Yeah,
I mean, I think you started off with just a bit of the overwhelmingness of AI that people are feeling, especially the dealers. There is a lot of players in the space, and some are falling behind, and some are rushing forward, right? And I encourage dealers, and we encourage dealers to really look at their solutions in a grid almost, outbound versus inbound, and then within those, the channels. So you almost see it as kind of a couple tic-tac-toe grids. And part of the problem is different providers have different items. And the good thing about Toma is we are moving extremely fast with all the channels. And when you look at the quality of those channels, which is the second factor, it's very important to assess them on the actual quality of the communication, how tailored it is to the customer, latency, how it sounds. And to do this for a few different technologies and providers, and then also try to morph it and fit it to your store is a tall order. It's not an easy thing to do if you're a CMO or if you're a CIO at a group. To have that type of, project is a decent sized one, and you have to have a solid partner, one that's going to be very upfront with you, show you behind the scenes, show you the platform, show you how the product works fully, play real calls, show the real thing, the real deal. And you can rest assured when, just like you came to our booth and looked, we show you the insides, we show you everything. Gosh, we even show you the technology and give it to you as your own agent. So I think it's about, for the dealers, they need to look for a partner that's transparent and that can communicate efficiently, because they have a lot of information to digest, because this is the first time a lot of dealers are looking at these technologies and seeing how they fit into their business. It's not like a service lane technology where they might have been through a few, they've been in that game for 10, 15 years. This is a new thing, and you need a really, really confident, solid partner that's going to show you all aspects of the technology.
Basically be an open book and be transparent, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the challenges, especially with service, because right now Toma's really focused on booking service appointments. Like it's service advisors don't answer the phone.
Right.
We know this, you know this, they don't answer the phone.
Yeah, just like when you call sales, though, they'll pick right up because they're trying to get
exactly. The sales always picks up the phone. Well, the challenge is...
And I love advisors. I was an advisor. I love fixed stops.
But they don't answer the phone. So Toma solves that problem.
Yeah.
One of the challenges that I hear, and you probably hear as well, is we don't want AI to replace people.
Yes.
Yeah. Toma is not designed, at least from my point of view and from what I've seen, Toma is not designed to replace people. No. It's meant to augment the existing service processes so that the service advisors can actually spend time talking to the people that they already have in the store.
Correct. And you take the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly the message I would want to give anybody listening to this. This is an enhancer, and this enhances people's time with their actual customers that need their help. We can automate all the repetitive items and even the fringe scenarios we can handle, but some of those fringe scenarios you're going to want to handle as an advisor, especially obviously the ones in person. And this gives more bandwidth back to service advisors, back to salespeople, where they can actually connect with their customer. How are you supposed to go sell, a $1,500 suspension job or drivability issue to a customer that's upset when the light behind you on your phone's blinking, and you got 3 messages, you got 2 people in front of you? Tell me how that person in the waiting room is going to get trust built with you when you're trying to talk to them about that job and explain why they need that tie rod and those swing arm, those bushings. They need some space to do their jobs.
Agreed.
And we are on a mission, Monik, Anthony, the CTO, Monik, the CEO, we're on a mission to give that back to people because shops are busy. They're at capacity. They need edges. They need these edges. And that is our goal here. And that's our goal this year, is to get that message downloaded to dealers. And
get your time back.
We're here for it.
Just get your time back.
Open your bandwidth and connect. It's almost ironic because some of the thought and mental model people have on AI is, you're taking away the human, but you're oddly giving more of the human back to people. It's almost an inverse idea. You're actually allowing people to connect more because you're taking care of those remedial tasks on a higher level. You don't need an advisor picking up the phone and talking about how much a tire rotation is. The customer is going to be fine with just getting that price quote. And for dealers that maybe don't want the AI at the front of the tree, it can be a fallback. It can be a clawback type safety net for when they're left on hold, and it can be a second line of defense for them. So that's a big piece of what I believe dealers will benefit from by taking a demonstration with Toma, or really any of the providers for that matter. Is this can fit into how you want to be your AI identity. If you do not want it to be front and center in your dealership, that's okay. If you want it to be a little bit behind, not a problem. So that type of customization, not only with the voice and what it says, but also how it fits into your current process.
You can choose what you do, right? And that's one of the biggest challenges, I think, as a service manager and a fixed director I had, is figuring out, and this is going back a bit, but figuring out where I want certain processes in place to overcome what challenges I want to overcome, at least right now. I want to be able to scale long term, but right now I have a certain problem that I need to solve, whether it's getting the phone answered and not having voicemails between 9 p.m. at night and 6 a.m. in the morning, right? When people are no longer working, they're going to make phone calls or make emails, they're going to make text messages, whatever, to be able to solve that problem so that they get answers, especially getting them booked. Like, it's a super easy thing to get them booked into service. When you have somebody or something or some kind of process in place to be able to overcome that for people who are striving to try and solve their own problems, give dealers or whatever the way that they can do it, right? So,
I mean, tell me, look at all the different dealerships here at this conference. Every single one of them runs their operation differently. They have different, what I would say, like micro preferences on how they want to treat their customers. And those have to be reflected in the technology. If you've spent years and years running your business and honing it a certain way, to bring in an AI player into your dealership and disregard all of that work you've done would be silly.
It's almost disrespectful.
And I think part of any type of resistance maybe some of the companies are feeling is, and just in AI in general, is that it will do that, but how much it can fit like a puzzle piece to what you're currently doing really surprises people when they start to engage with us. They go, "Oh, I didn't know it could do that," and follow my process.
Absolutely.
Every dealership is like, they have their own fingerprint of how they treat their customers, and the AI will fill that identity.
Awesome. So one of the things that Monik shared with me yesterday, and I want to make sure I want to drive this message home, because there's a lot of vendors and a lot of software products out there that aren't necessarily customer-centric. And in this circumstance, we're talking about dealers being the customer. They're very hard, they're very fast, this is what we do.
Sure.
One of the things I like about what Monik said about Toma yesterday, very specifically, is that you guys have a focus group, you guys have a board of the dealers in your customer body that you meet with on a regular basis to say, okay, I want you guys to break our stuff.
Yeah, one's flying out to San Francisco next weekend. So
break it so that we can figure out other ways to either make your lives easier or make the experience better for the customer. That's awesome, number one. Number two, you're actually asking customers what it is that they want and how they want to proceed forward. So either improve the product, save money on the product, or do something that makes it better.
Yeah, we just went out to dinner last night with a dealer, and I can't tell you the exact request they had, but it was the most obvious, simple request that nobody has thought of. I couldn't believe it when I heard it. I go, how is that not happening? And then we looked to the CTO and we're like waiting for his answer. He's like, yeah, I'll have that done tomorrow. So it's just that fast. The team is moving really, really quickly. We got some huge news coming up, in the next week here. So it's been a fun time here, and it's just a fun time at the conference, but a fun time just general in the industry right now. You see some players moving forward and really looking at how they're running their business and making some change. See some people getting left behind a little bit, and I think you're going to see that space grow a little bit.
I agree. Yeah. So one of the things I want to make sure that everybody gets some value today. One, what's something that you learned here at ASOTUCON in 2025? What's something that you personally learned, that maybe a service manager or a general manager or a fixed director should know?
Yeah. I think one of the openings, it was a Claude from VaynerX. I've always been a big fan of leading, kind of leading with empathy, but when the what hits the fan in business and things get messy, it's very hard to remember that. And I think she shared some techniques that can really help you when you're in that moment where you have to choose command. Do I command more, or do I empathize and lead with grace and empathy? And I thought that was a really powerful piece, and I'm glad it was well attended, because people need to hear that. But the overall message of the entire conference of, care about people more. Come on, you can't be reminded that enough. Like we have to hear that more. So that's been a really special part for me.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Her talk was so impactful to me, because I've been following Gary and Claude for a very long time and listening to the message, being able to hear heart to heart and understanding that to her, that has a significantly deeper meaning to it. Yeah. And understanding that and remembering that every individual is having a different life than you are, different circumstances than you are. Yeah. Those challenges might come into work, and remembering that as leaders
come in. Oh, they definitely come in. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm trying to be
and
soft.
Then she says, don't have an exit interview, have a stay interview. And I go,
that was
if you want to ask for one specific piece, that I'm taking. That I've never. I mean, I think people, like she said, do it informally. But if you do that formally, what a smart thing to do. So not only am I going to take that, I'll probably suggest that to people if they're, if I'm talking about them with their staff and they're having trouble, I would definitely bring that up. Have a stay interview.
Yeah. Remember that, folks. Have a stay interview, not an exit interview. So, and the same question that I'm going to ask that I've asked everybody that I've ever interviewed is, what's your one piece of advice for a technician to be happier, healthier, more productive tomorrow?
Oh my gosh. I know a lot of technicians. That is a very, very good question. I would say technicians, in my opinion, are the hardest working people I know. And I would say take care of yourself, take care of your body and take care of your mind. It's a very, very taxing job, and you're going to have to be extra diligent to take care of yourself, both spiritually, emotionally, and really physically. You get your stretches, and that is a demanding job physically. So I would just say take care of your body and mind.
I appreciate that very much. Well, Sean, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for sharing a little bit about Toma. Yeah. Hopefully all of you are listening. AI is not to be feared. It is something that we can use in tandem. So take that, learn it, do your due diligence, check out Toma online. And remember, folks, negative pushes, positive pulls, and always clean your toys before you put them away.
Well said. Thanks for having me.
enjoyed partnering with Toma. The efficiency that's added to our ability to schedule service appointments has really integrated really well into our current systems and processes that we have. The technology itself is incredible. The latency that you see is fairly minimal. Customers have really adapted and kind of enjoyed, I think, having lower wait times by working with the product. And then the team itself at Toma has been really great in terms of working with us and being able to come up with almost immediate solutions. It's really been a game changer.